every day on Instagram for 30 days and the result was mind-blowing. Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So if you are familiar with the challenge that I did a couple of months ago, it was the No Spend November challenge, where I was sharing how much I spent every day for 30 days. So the goal was for me to spend the dollar amount for the day for the next 30 days. So for example, I'll spend $1 on day 1, $2 on day 2, $3 on day 3, and so forth. So today I want to share with you all the interesting things about that challenge. So I'll start off with why I did that challenge in the first place, the goal of the challenge itself, after the challenge, what I learned, and the result of the challenge. So let's unpack. Alright, first of all, I would like to mention that that challenge was 100% real. No part of it was fake. It was the most challenging challenge that I've ever done that even challenged me, if that makes sense. So how did that challenge even came about, or how did it even start? So a friend of mine, Tinola, which you're probably familiar with on this channel, we did the video that went viral that I'll put up here. We wanted to do a 30-day challenge of consistently posting just to motivate one another, and we've done this before. I believe it was for like 7 days or so, and we wanted to push ourselves even further. She had been doing the 30 days challenge before then, and I decided to join her on the challenge. So it was time. Yeah, we had an agreement. Oh yeah, let's do this challenge. Then I told her, in order for me to be able to actually make this happen, I can't just post every day randomly, because I'll run out of content, I'll run out of idea, and I feel like at some point my audience might not be able to, they might not be encouraged to engage in it. So I wanted to do a series instead. And that's why I came about like the 30 days no spend challenge series, because I thought that would be more engaging, would be more entertaining, and people can follow along for 30 days. Now, the idea of spending a dollar amount for the specific day, that came about because I think I've seen videos like that on social media before, but it wasn't in that form. I made it my own way. I translated it to my own voice and the way I wanted it to feel. Now, before I decided I want to do that challenge, I shared the idea with a couple of people around me that, how about I do a challenge like this? What do you think? Would you like to watch it? They were like so curious to see, how would you actually spend a dollar for a day? I want to see how that would happen. So I shared it with a couple of people here and there, and everyone sounded interested. They were intrigued by the idea, and they would love to see how the day and how I'll spend money for throughout the challenge. So I was able to validate the idea by doing that. Now let's talk about the goal of the challenge. So I had 3 primary goals in mind. 1 was growth, 2 was education, and 3 was entertainment. And in order to break those down, the growth part of it was because I realized that my Instagram content, I wasn't attracting new followers. I was mostly just attracting my current existing followers that were engaging my content. So I wanted to create something that people that were new to my channel would enjoy watching. They'll be able to follow through, and if you see this kind of content, even if you're watching it from day 15, you will still be able to make sense out of it. And that was why I didn't carry over the budget from the previous day, because people were asking me, oh, so if you don't finish spending the budget for day 3, why don't you carry it over to day 4? But that would mean anybody that is watching only day 4 would not be able to make sense out of it. They would have to watch day 1, day 2, day 3 to be able to follow along. And one of the goals of the challenge is to again attract new followers, and a new follower would not be able to follow along if I was carrying over the budget. The second way I was able to do this was to also retain my existing followers. Of course, I love my current community. I wanted to keep them in the loop. I also wanted to encourage them along the journey as well to take on the challenge for themselves and also see ways that they can cut costs. Now, in order for me to keep this challenging, to make it an idea or a content series that people can actually follow along, I had to have the same intro, which was day 1 of No Spend November. I've got $1, let's make it count. I'll actually insert the video here. Day 1 of my No Spend November challenge. I've got $1, let's make it count. Exactly. Then I also had to keep the same outro, which was saying how much I was able to spend for the day. I would also insert a video here. Day 1 is complete and we stayed in budget. See you tomorrow. Then the third thing was to keep the same call to action, which was day 3 is complete, I'll see you tomorrow. The see you tomorrow part of it was the most important part, which was making sure that people know this is a series, this is going to be consistent. You can come back tomorrow for another part of the episode. If I knew that saying that is going to make people come into my DMs to start asking me, where is the 13th video, where is the 14th video, maybe I would have had a second thought about it. So my timing of the day was not consistent. I couldn't post consistently at the same time of the day because obviously I'll get into the challenge in a bit. So I'll have people coming into my DMs asking me, where is day 12, where is day 13, where is day 14, like, oh Lord, chill. The next way I was able to reach the goal for this challenge was to also carry my community along, build a relationship with them, connect with them, let them see other side of me that is not just all about talking money. I also wanted to encourage good spending habits with my audience by telling them that let's make it count. So it's like making the dollar amount you have each day count. And it's just a way of me trying to teach people in my audience, because I teach personal finance, right? Just trying to get them to see that, okay, you can actually be frugal with your spending, you don't have to break the bank to live a good life, and you can save at the same time, enjoy yourself. With this challenge, I was also able to show my personality to my audience, show up consistently, and also save money for my own self. Alright, so let's get into the challenge itself. Woo! This challenge! So every part of that challenge, if you follow through, you would see that it was very structured. But structured doesn't mean that it was rigid, it was just planned out properly. So you see the hook that I had, day 1 of No Spend November, I've got $1, let's make it count. The initial hook that I wanted to use was so much longer than that. It was like 2 lines long. At that time, I was a part of the Creator Accelerator program at NAS Academy. So I was learning a lot about content creation, and I had like people that were like my instructors following me and helping me along with this challenge. So the hook that I had for that challenge series was so long. I had to, it went through a lot of refining processes with different people. So I had my idea, I shared it with the class, people had their own input, people had their modification, and eventually we were able to come up with the result that we had. And the part of it that is very interesting, that was never even my idea, was the part of saying let's make it count. Someone, I think it was my instructor, that came up with that idea. Then also the part of me holding on to the dollar note and saying this, like day 1 of No Spend, holding the dollar amount for that day. It was also not my idea, it was also my instructor's idea. So that's to tell you how when multiple people put their head together, they will be able to come up with very good content idea that the audience would engage, but no one would see all of the work that was going behind. Each time I share my video in class and they watch it, they would say, maybe do this, maybe add a sound effect here, the sound effect is too loud, do this, do that, do this, do that, and I would have to go back to edit the video. So that challenge was very stressful. I also want to mention that I was almost going to quit that challenge by day 4. I would insert a screenshot of a chat with Tinola here, and I was like, bruh, how did I get myself into this? I don't think I can do it anymore. I think I need to quit. That was by day 4. I was already tired. I was done. Like, it was stressing me. The stressful part of it was the fact that I was filming every day, I had to edit every day, and I also have to post. And it's not just about filming your day, you also have to do storytelling, you have to do scripting, you have to make it entertaining, you have to make it engaging. So every part of it had to be structured. I had to script it and make sure it was also under 1 minute, because I wanted to post it on YouTube for short. So it was like so many things at the same time that I had to pay attention to, and it was very stressful. The challenge was going in real time, so I didn't have backlogs of videos. So the video I filmed today, I would literally edit it today and post it maybe tomorrow. So like I was just posting the day after. So November 1 was posted on November 2, November 2 was posted on November 3, and like that. So it was super stressful because I was filming on the day off. The next challenging part of it was also the budget. Sometimes I want to actually eat something else, but I have to spend within my budget, and I was like, bruh, should I just eat secretly? But like that would be me defeating the purpose of the challenge, and I didn't want to do that. So I had to be creative, come up with creative ways to spend my money. That was so interesting, because at that time I started looking for things in my house that I already had, and to my surprise, like sometimes you have food at home, you're just doing long throat, that's why you want to buy things outside. So at that point in time, I'll always check my freezer, check my fridge, check my cabinet to see what I actually have at home that I could use. So at this point in time, everything was stressing me out. The daily budget, editing and scripting every day, trying to be engaging, making sure the story is on point. And on days where I actually don't spend the budget, maybe I had like some leftover from the day before, I would find that people in the comments will be saying, oh, that's you cheating, you're not keeping up with the challenge, yada yada yada. So I had to make sure that, okay, I have to follow along with the budget. And another problem that I started to have was, as the budget increases, the challenge became less challenging. And in order to continue with the momentum, I had to make it more challenging by trying to do other things. Like at that point in time, I had to now introduce things like paying my subscription, canceling my Netflix, just things that would also fit into the challenge to make it make sense. Because people were starting to feel like, oh, now that you have more budget, you should be okay. It shouldn't be as stressful as that anymore. And I still want them to continue to enjoy. I still want them to be engaged up until they're 30. So I have to come up with different ideas and strategies to keep the audience to keep coming back for more and still keep entertaining them at the same time. Another part of this challenge that happened is that I got roasted by Nuseir of NAS Academy, or NAS Daily. I think he's the owner of NAS Daily, the company, NAS company. You're probably familiar with him, the 1 minute video guy. I'll put a video of him roasting me here.
10 hours effort. And don't make it fake news. Good luck.
Thank you. So as you heard from what he said the challenge was not challenging enough, which to me, I already felt stressed out of this. So he gave me a lot of good feedbacks, like, oh, you should film from outside. And it was after I got that feedback from him that I started to do my actual intro from outside. Before, I'll do my intro inside the house because I was just starting my day every morning. But he started to give me feedback like, hey, you should go outside, people like to see outdoors and all of that. Then he also said the challenge was not challenging enough. I had to make it realistic, I had to make it more real. So that was the days where I started to actually implement some ideas and make sure that I was spending the budget. And again, I was also noticing that if I actually don't spend the money, people were a bit disappointed. So I had to find a way to make it make sense and actually spend, and at the same time not use the same story that I used yesterday for today, if that made sense. So I had a day where I was like, oh, I'm going to make myself a 3-course meal at home. Then another day I had the one that I was eating out. Then I had another one where I was like, oh, I paid my subscription. Then I had another one that, like, different challenges for each day. And that challenge was so interesting. So many things came to mind. People were involved, giving me ideas on how to edit things that I was not doing right. So the feedback that I got from Nuseir was very, very helpful, and it helped also increase my viewership for that challenge. And just in case you don't know, the only way I was able to get him to roast my video was also because I was part of NAS Academy at that point in time, which I don't know if I should make a video about my experience doing that 5-month creator accelerator program, because I really learned a lot from that program. That would be a whole entire video. If someone is interested in it, I can make a video to talk about it. But yeah, the feedbacks I got was also very helpful in improving that series. Now, other than all the feedbacks that I got from different people, I also had to review my analytics. Again, how I was able to do that was look at the performance of the videos, and at the same time I'm filming, editing and doing all of that. So I was looking at the analytics to see on days that the video wasn't performing well, what happened there. Then sometimes I'll realize that maybe it was days that I didn't go out, I didn't spend, and that means the next day I have to, or the next few days I have to make sure that I'm doing something with the budget. At the same time, I would notice that maybe the story was not engaging enough. On some days I would find that the videos would perform really, really well. Then I had to go back and look at it like, oh, what happened here? Like the day I had to buy toilet paper, I realized that just having that one single idea of I spent my money buying toilet paper today was interesting enough, and that's all people could relate with. So people could find that part of it relatable, and they were able to enjoy the content. So at the same time, I had to introduce ideas that the audience would find relatable and they would enjoy it as well. So let's talk about after the challenge. The burnout that came after posting consistently and showing up for 30 days was beyond me. I couldn't comprehend it. Like, I literally did not want to have anything to do with Instagram at that point in time. I just wanted to put my phone away. However, at this point in time, I had attracted a lot of new followers. I have to show up consistently, at least for a couple of days after the challenge. So I had to still keep posting every day for another 7 days. Now, I wasn't posting like a content challenge or something. I think I was just post things like fitness, random content, things here and there, just to also show up for after the challenge, and people that had just followed me don't feel like, hey, she had abandoned us now, and just unfollow after that. So I had to keep showing up regardless. At the same time, I still lost followers because now a lot of people had followed me and they decided to see content that maybe was never their interest in the first place. They unfollowed. I lost a lot of followers as well. Let's talk about what I learned, then we'll talk about the results. So what did I learn from this challenge? I learned a lot, not just about myself. I learned a lot about myself, but I also learned a lot about social media in general. One of the things I learned about posting consistently is that you have to plan ahead. I think if I had been like 7 days far out of the challenge, I would have been very much okay. Now, I wouldn't say you should have a series like this where it's all planned out, because I've done this before, like a series where I was doing, like, I think it was my Money Mondays and Finance Friday series. The content was all planned out, all filmed ahead and everything. But the downside to doing that is that you would not be able to read your analytics. You will not be able to see how the audience would perform and react to the video and maybe make changes to it because you are too far ahead. But what I should have done, or what I would be doing differently if I'm going to be doing a challenge like this next time, would be to plan ahead. I'll probably be about 7 days ahead or maybe 10 days ahead, but not too far. Maybe somewhere between 5 and 10 days ahead would be the sweet spot, so that I can always implement any changes that I see that maybe the audience is not responding the way I would expect. The next thing I learned is to also make it more challenging. To me personally, I felt that challenge was very challenging, right? But to some people, they felt it wasn't challenging enough. And like Nuseir said, he said, oh, if you are going to spend $1 and you came out with what you had in your fridge, then that is you cheating in this challenge, right? Like it made no sense. So I will try to maybe make the challenge more challenging in a way that everyone can relate to. I would still keep everything else that I did, like making it seem brand new for new followers to be able to follow. I learned that and a lot more. So let's talk about the results. Interesting. So I was able to reach more than 2 million viewers across all platforms with this video. I think that deserves a round of applause. That is me clapping for myself because I did a great job. Next, I was also able to get like 3 brand deals from this challenge. Yeah, very interesting. Eventually I was only able to take one of the brand deals because the other 2 brand deals that I got, they were relating to like food brands and all of that, and I felt like if I had accepted them at that point in time, it would have derailed the whole challenge itself and the purpose of the challenge. So I picked my viewers above the money or the free things that I could have gotten, because I didn't want the viewers to start thinking, oh, if you're getting free things, then it has defeated the purpose of this challenge. So that was also really nice. Next, I was also able to get over 5,000 followers across platforms. I think it was even more. So on Instagram, I was able to get like 3,500 followers, which I think is really decent, because to grow your Instagram page is very, very hard. It's very hard, but getting like 3,500 plus in a month, I think that was really, really good. Then on TikTok, I got over 1,000 followers as well, and on YouTube, I'm not sure I kept good track of it, but I was able to get like a very significant number of new followers as well, which was really, really satisfying for me as a creator. Next, I started my own community from this challenge. The No Spend Accountability group came about from that challenge, which eventually led to another group that I currently have right now, which is the Smart Money Accountability group, where I keep people accountable with their finance. So that challenge led to something else that I wasn't expecting, which ended up becoming something even more long-term. So I'm really grateful for that. And lastly, my followers also engaged in this challenge. They carried on and also participated as well. Not only did they engage on social media, a lot of them also participated. I got a lot of DMs, emails from people saying, thank you so much for the challenge. I learned a lot. I applied it to my life. I found this in my freezer. I'm eating home cooked meal because of you. I'm not spending, I'm not eating out and all of that. That really was satisfying to me, seeing that I'm making impact in people's life, because the whole point of my content creation journey is not just to make money or get like put myself out there. The whole point for me is to make impact in people's life, and I'm really, really glad I was able to do that with that challenge. So yeah, those are some of the things that I wanted to share. If you learned from this video, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you learned. Let me know which part of this challenge is shocking to you. I know a lot of people that follow me and that are subscribed to this channel probably watched the challenge on my social media. I'm really glad you did. Oh, I forgot to point out one thing. So initially, I wanted to also do a long form video for this challenge. I only ended up doing one video because I couldn't do long form. So the plan was to do 1 long form video for every week, which would result in 4 videos for the month. But after the first video and all this stress I was going through just creating short form content, I couldn't keep up with doing long form anymore. So I had to give up on that and just continue focusing on long form. And this just goes to tell you that as a content creator, you have to pick your struggle and pick your challenge. You can't focus on creating for all platforms at the same time. You can't also focus on creating like multiple forms of content at the same time. You have to pick the one that is going to be your priority. At that point in time when I started the challenge, Instagram was my primary target audience, and I was able to achieve the growth that I was looking for. If I was creating content for TikTok, I would have known the kind of content to put out there as well, because all the viewers on different platforms, even though sometimes they are the same people, they usually have different behaviors as well. So those are some of the things I learned. I just thought to share with my viewers to give you like more inside overview as to how that challenge went, what led to it, how it came about, the result of it, and if I will be doing this again. I definitely will. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.